I love it when developers add really cool things to their games that a lot of players may not notice. And that's why in today's video we're taking a look at 25 hidden details found in video games. Now, I know you're probably sick of hearing it, but we are so close to 1 million subscribers. So if you could help me out by clicking subscribe, that would be awesome. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Marvel Strike Force. With Halloween just around the corner, are you looking for a way to spook things up a bit? Well, why not immerse yourself in the spirit of the season with Marvel Strike Force? Marvel Strike Force is a mobile squad RPG that allows you to battle with your favourite superheroes and supervillains in order to save the universe. It's up to you to level up your heroes and villains whilst unlocking gear and other resources, all meant to help your team reach the very top. Of course, it wouldn't be a Marvel game without its roster of popular characters, and you can find them in Marvel Strike Force, with the likes of Iron Man, Wolverine and Venom ready to fight under your command in loads of different game modes. Oh, and seeing as it is officially spooky season, Marvel Strike Force is joining in on the fun. New players can unlock the powerful Agatha Harkness simply by logging in during October, and joining the powerful witch is Blade, who could come in handy during the Halloween celebrations. If for some reason that wasn't enough to grab your attention, how about getting 100 shards for Zombie Iron Man, 600,000 gold, and 480 L2 training modules for free, simply by using the promo code Halloween. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to download the game today. And don't forget to use promo code Halloween for exclusive rewards. This is your chance to score awesome in-game bonuses and support the channel. There really is no better time than right now to jump into Marvel Strike Force, so make sure to use that promo code Halloween and start your Marvel Strike Force journey today. Once again, a big thank you to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring today's video, and without further delay, let's get started. Now, one of the most intimidating video game enemies of recent times has to be Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake. His imposing size and suave fashion sense made him a foe that was hard to forget. Well, if you want to make Mr. X less intimidating, you could always try shooting his hat off of his head, which will cause him to do this. So for a split second, I do almost feel sorry for the big guy, as he reaches for his hat and realises it's no longer there. Now, for some reason, I really like it when a game doesn't protect the player from themselves. Like, some games won't even let you walk off a ledge and fall to your death, because they're scared that you'll get annoyed and stop playing. Well, super hardcore zombie survival game Project Zomboid does not protect you from yourself. For example, on your travels you can find bottles of bleach, and if you are so inclined, you can even drink the bleach. So predictably, drinking bleach will cause your character to die. Like I said, I love it when games let us be as stupid as we want. A game that does protect the player in a smart way is Goldeneye on the Nintendo 64. During the facility level, you'll need to use a console to open a door. However, if that console is destroyed in the crossfire, then you're stuck. You cannot complete the level. Well, not wanting to softlock players, Rare gave players a lifeline. If you wait long enough, a scientist will eventually come to the rescue. So after waiting for what is a pretty long time, a scientist will enter the area and run to the bathroom, where after a little persuasion, he will drop a keycard allowing Bond to move to the next area. Which is pretty clever if you ask me. Now, Outlast 2 isn't a game that I want to spend time in. That's not to say the game is bad, it's perfectly fine. It's just that the world of Outlast 2 is so damn depressing. Unfortunately, you will need to stop running from whatever is chasing you to see this next detail, but it does come with some helpful advice. Written on the side of Outlast 2's fire extinguishers are instructions, and they begin normal enough. However, the final step reads, release handle to stop and scream. For a game as dark and depressing as Outlast 2, this is actually a pretty funny detail. So Jump Force is one of those games that can no longer be bought on official storefronts, which means I can't sell my 2 Jump Force Steam trading cards, but I can share with you a pretty clever detail. Sanji is a character from One Piece, and he is known to be a bit of a ladies' man. Granted, only Sanji thinks that, but hey, confidence is important. Anyway, it turns out that Sanji is such a ladies' man that when you try to attack a female fighter, this will happen. So Sanji cannot hurt women. Let me remind you that Jump Force is a fighting game, so not being able to damage your opponent is quite the disadvantage. Now, as time has passed, more and more people seem to be appreciating LA Noire. I mean, sure, it's far from perfect, but it's one of those games where a sequel could have fixed a lot of the problems. When at the main menu, the title of the game is displayed in lights. All of the letters in the title flicker, apart from 3. Those letters being L, I and E, which of course spells out lie, which given the theme of the game is pretty damn clever. Speaking of clever title screens, up next is Outer Wilds. If you wait for what is a really long time, I'm talking almost 30 minutes, the game's title will slowly drift apart. Now in House Flipper, you spend a lot of time installing toilets. And if you've ever played House Flipper, then you'll know it's not exactly the most exciting task in the world. Well, on very rare occasions, after installing a toilet, this might happen. So a rat will appear in the toilet before disappearing again. Like I said, the chances of this happening are slim, so it's something that a lot of house flippers may have missed. Now, despite its top-down view and retro-looking graphics, Hotline Miami is one of the goriest games you can play. Of course, we all know about the copious amounts of blood that can be spilled. But what about other bodily fluids? If you kill an enemy with a blunt object, there is a chance that this will happen. So enemies will sometimes wee themselves. I mean, I don't know what more you want me to say. Now, I'm sure that I'm not alone in finding the recent Pokemon games released for the Nintendo Switch disappointing. When you see games like Breath of the Wild running and looking 10 times better on the Switch, it's hard not to wish that Pokemon was given the same treatment. The thing is, the games are full of really nice touches that are sure to make Pokemon fans smile. And that's what I did when I found this next detail. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, when you alert a Sudowoodo, they will do this. So given that Sudowoodo looks like a tree, it won't run away. It will just stop and pose like a tree. Like I said, this one did make me smile. So with Sony remastering games that are barely old enough to be out of nappies, I wish that someone at Microsoft would take a look at the prototype games. Of course, they aren't perfect, but with a fresh lick of paint and a few gameplay tweaks, I think they could be a big release for the Xbox now that Microsoft owns Activision. One of the core features of the prototype series was the ability to assume the identity of anyone you liked, and you would then be treated accordingly. For example, when playing as a lowly soldier and bumping into other soldiers, you'll be talked to like this.
You pricks are the collateral and collateral damage.
You got your head up your ass? Stay the hell out of my way!
You fucking want something? Get out of my face before I blow yours off.
So yeah, everyone is just a bit mean. However, if you assume the identity of a lieutenant, they won't be as rude.
Come back, sir.
You need something, soldier?
Good day, soldier.
Anything
Glad to have you on duty,
just ask.
Now, one of the best video game Halloween events in recent history was back in 2021, where famous horror movie villains appeared in Call of Duty Warzone. You could even receive a call from Ghostface himself, which was really cool. Well, what made this even cooler is that the dialogue of each call would change depending on which skin you were using at the time. Here are just a few of my favourites.
Sorry, Ghost, but you're about to become the real thing. Who will we find under that mask, I wonder? I'll peel off your stupid imposter face just as easily. Hello, Samantha. Let's play a game. How about murder in the dark? Am I really calling you Adler? Is there a voice on the other end of the line, or have you lost your mind entirely? I hear you don't scare easily, Stone. Just as well, I like a challenge. How about you stop fucking around with phones and play the fucking game?
So have you ever been playing a fast-paced first-person shooter and wished you had a friend? Well, in the Eggcellent Ion Fury, there is a cheat that may help. If you enter the I'm Lonely cheat, this will happen. So to cure your loneliness, a chair will appear that you can push around until you feel better, which is surprisingly helpful. Now, if you've ever played a Time Splitters multiplayer match, you'll know that you can barely hear yourself think, let alone hear what a Tannoy might be saying. Well, if you do take the time to listen to the Tannoy messages on the subway map, you will be pleasantly surprised.
Thank you. This is a lost child announcement. Little Timmy is wearing a blood-stained t-shirt, a red headband, and is carrying his favorite shotgun. He was last seen pistol-whipping his way down the platform. Thank you.
So when you begin an open world game, you'll probably have to rely on the in-game waypoint to work out where you need to go. In Grand Theft Auto 4, you can even be guided to your destination by a GPS, which will even tell you when you need to turn. Along with these helpful messages, you'll also hear this sound, which is meant to warn drivers of upcoming turns. Well, on very rare occasions, instead of hearing that sound, you'll hear this instead.
In 100 yards, turn left. Bing, bong.
So instead of hearing the bing bong sound, the GPS voice will say the words bing bong. Now, I've played a lot of GTA 4 in my time, but I only found out about this detail a few months ago. Up next is Hot Shots Golf 4, where you can rip off a very unhappy shop owner. You see, when you enter the store in-game, the owner will sound like this.
Hi, how can I help you? Have a nice day!
So she seems perfectly nice. Well, if you enter the cheat that makes items in the ladies' shop cheaper, she won't be as happy.
What can I do for you? Have a good day.
I mean, you can't really blame her for being upset. Now, in the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone game on the PlayStation 1, you will know you're safe from danger when Harry's wand glows a calming green. When attending lessons at Hogwarts, the wand pretty much always glows green, except for when you attend Professor Quirrell's class. You see, when standing next to Quirrell, Harry's wand will glow an alarming red, seemingly hinting at Voldemort's presence. And if you've read the books or watched the movies, you'll know why this detail is so cool. Now, a big part of Grounded's charm is seeing everyday objects from a perspective that you aren't used to seeing. Take this paint can for example. I mean, climbing to the top is no easy feat, but once you reach the summit, you can find a secret message on the tin's lid. The message reads, "Not a food product, not for human consumption, do not ingest. Please, we are begging you, stop eating the paint." Which, to be fair, seems to be a reasonable request. Now, we've already covered our fair share of main menus and title screens in this video, but I do have a couple of other cool ones to share. First up is Nobody Saves the World, with this bright and colourful title screen. Well, if we glance down to our right, we can see that somebody has written boobies on a calculator. It's like being in high school all over again. The other main menu detail can be found in Super Monkey Ball Jr. on the Game Boy Advance. If you enter the Konami code at the title screen, the game's name will change to Super Nice Try, which is pretty funny. Now, in Paper Mario The Origami King, you can take a break from saving the world to speak to Monty the Mole. Simply approach his little hidey hole and he will happily pop up for a chat. Well, what's funny is, if you approach Monty's hole, but stand on top of it, this will happen. So Monty will pop up ready to talk, but as he can't see Mario, he goes back beneath the surface. I don't know why, but I really like this detail. Now, Road Redemption is about as close as we've been to a good Road Rash clone in some time. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, and considering it's a game about bashing other bikers off their vehicles at ridiculously high speeds, that's probably for the best. Well, one of these special characters that you can unlock in Road Redemption is PC Master Racer, and in what has to be one of the funniest special abilities in any game, the PC Master Racer is only as fast as your system. You see, the higher the resolution, the quicker PC Master Racer will gain nitro, and the higher your quality settings, the more damage PC Master Racer will deal. However, if your FPS drops below 60 frames per second, PC Master Racer will take damage, which is pretty clever. So we began today's video with the Resident Evil 2 remake. So let's end with it. When Leon isn't being mauled by zombies, he could easily pass as the 6th member of the Backstreet Boys. However, when Leon has been hurt, he really shows it, with some of the best ouch I'm really hurt animations in video games. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.